Now that we've gone through all the preliminaries of setting up Zoom, let's go into a real Zoom meeting and set it up for a real class. So again, we're going to go to this LTI, we launch, and it's going to take us right into Zoom. Now some of the things that you're going to notice as you go through this is we schedule a new meeting. It's going to again have the name of your course automatically come up here, and you can put in whatever you want, say first class, and then it's time to actually schedule a time. Now if we click here, let's set it up for June the 7th, 2021. And normally it's going to set it to the nearest half hour. I'm going to put in 8:55 and I'm going to put in AM. And typically what you're going to find here is it's only going to allow you to select to the nearest hour and to the nearest 15 minutes here. So when we have a 50 or 55 minute class, 1 hour is close enough because we can always close off our Zoom meeting whenever we want. Now, as we mentioned before, we don't want to have waiting room. Now it's going to generate a passcode, and you're going to see this as we take a look at how the students view this when they get contacted to join the room. And we're going to make sure that we mute participants on entry, and we're going to just save this, and we're going to start our meeting. Now that we're in Zoom, we can go up to this little check mark here. We can click on it with our left mouse button, and we can copy a link so we can send this to all the students in our class by going under Blackboard to Grade Center, Full Grade Center, and mailing it to all the students in our class. When the students receive your email, they're going to get here a link that they're going to click on to go to this start a meeting, but they're also going to get a passcode here that goes with it. What they're going to have to do is copy and paste the passcode into here to get access to your Zoom meeting. Once they do that, they're going to be in Zoom, but then they have to select Wi-Fi so that they're going to have everything ready to go to then enjoy your lesson. After a student clicks on Wi-Fi, they're going to get this message showing up that they're connecting to audio. Now that the student is connected, they can go here to click on these three dots under More, and they can get access to chat. They can get access to raising their hand and all these other settings that are here, as well as sending emojis. So this way the teacher can send to everyone a message, and by looking at chat under their More option for the students, they can get access to whatever the teacher is saying, and they can also respond here back to the teacher about questions that are asked. Now that we've started our Zoom meeting, let's take a look at some of the things that we can do. Under Security, we can lock the meeting, enable waiting room, hide profile pictures. We can do a number of things in here, and one of the more important ones is to remove a participant if they're not really doing what they should be doing in here. Now, under participants, we can click here and we can see our participants, and what we can do is ask to unmute if we want, and under More we could actually have them removed here as well, or we can put them in the waiting room if they've been bad. So these are some of the things that we can do here under participants and security. So if we hit participants again, this goes away. If we hit chat, then we can set to everyone, or I can go to Sudabay and send her a message. I don't hope she's receptive, but basically everyone in the meeting, and then you can type in your message here and they can receive it. Now we have the ability to share screen. This is a pretty large amount of things that we can do here. So let's go to polling, and we can edit, and we can move this to the side here. And we can enter a poll, and we can call this basic stuff, and we can answer either single choice, which is either true or false, yes or no, or we can have multiple choice questions. So I'm just going to say, is the world flat? Or yes, or I'll say no. Down at the bottom here we'll just say save. This time let's do a multiple choice question, and when we get down here we can save. So we've got our two questions in here. And at any point we can just say launch poll, and at any point we can go to polling and do that. What we're going to do next is we're going to take a look at share screen, and then we're going to take a look at record, because we typically want to record what we're doing while we're in here. Now the polling that you've done here, you can add a couple of quick questions right before your class starts, say in the first 15-20 minutes, put in some poll questions to see how well the students are understanding what you're going to do. Now we're going to go to share screen, and we've got a number of options up here. If you have an iPad, you can connect via AirPlay. If you've got a Mac, if you iPad via a cable, you can go to Firefox, Safari, do a whiteboard like we did before with Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, or we can go here to a desktop screen and we see everything that we've got here. Now this may not be the best idea, but we can put things away very quickly. Go over here, go to our work drive and we can pull up PowerPoint presentations, whatever it is you want to do in here. Pull up something very quick here, Zoom Part 5 movie. Now I'm doing this with myself muted. Now what we can do is to actually record this as it's going. So let me just stop sharing for a second here. Let's go down to record. Now we've got a couple of options here. Record on this computer, which is great if you have a YouTube account and you want to post the video to YouTube, but for most of us we want to record to the cloud.
Recording in progress.
If we go back to here to our screen here, go back to our screen there. Okay, at this point we want to stop sharing. We also want to pause it so we can go here.
Recording stopped.
Okay, so we want to do at this point, this gives you an idea of what to do. We're just going to end this for everybody. Now this is an email that I received from Zoom after I ended my session, and it says click here to view your recording, and this link can only be viewed by the host. So you might want to take a look at your recording and see whether or not you want to post it, because the link below here is a recording that you can share with the viewers. Now these are available, as it says, for 120 days, which is great, which is about 4 months, which means that for a whole semester the students will have access to these videos. To keep a record of your lessons in video format, you can just right mouse click, copy a link here. You can go over here and you can say content area. You can say Zoom recordings. And you can share with all users, submit. You can bring it up here. And then what you can do is when you click here, you can go to build content, web link. You can type in here lesson 1 or whatever you want to call it, and then you just paste your link in here and submit, and it's done. So students can actually just click on this and go across to here and view what you've done in your class. And so it's a little bit more work, as I said, than you had with Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, but at least instead of Ultra you still will be able to do this and make it available to your students. Now the last thing I'm going to show you is how to automatically set everything up in a file so that you don't have to set it up every time you set up a meeting. So if we go up to Zoom US and go to Preferences, now there's a number of things you can check off in here. For instance, if we look at statistics, you can see how much overall that Zoom is taking up. One of the things we can do under General, which is kind of fun, is go down to View More Settings. And then if we close this, it gives us all the settings we want for security, so we can require all meetings are secured with one security option. I've got that set up here. Instead of getting rid of waiting room each time, I can just click here, and no longer is it going to ask me to disable the waiting room. Meeting polls, so if you have a problem that your polls don't work because it's letting you set them up but it won't do anything, you can always just make sure that this is set this way so that your polls will work. So this is how you set up everything here. This is the last thing that you need to know. So that pretty much concludes just about everything you'd want to know about how to use Zoom and to get things set up the way that you want. And hopefully you'll be successful using Zoom as a replacement now for Blackboard Collaborate Ultra.